My name's Phil Bosher. I'm a vicar here at St Mark's Church, Winshill. So I live in Winshill at the moment, but I have come from, or I was born in Basingstoke. I lived 18 years in and around Fleet, then moved to Wiltshire for 18 years, and then travelled around the world before ending up here in Burton. Before I got to Burton, well, I started off as a parish priest down in Salisbury Diocese back in 1987. And then in 1996 I left parish ministry and went and joined the army as an army chaplain, which I did for 20 years, hence the slight little bit of travel around the place, mainly in the UK, Germany, but I did one or two tours out in more warm climates or warmer climates that we happened to be asked to go to. Probably not my best moment, but actually one of the most interesting moments was in 2003. I was asked to join the Royal Irish Regiment as they went to Iraq for Gulf War II. So we deployed out to Kuwait, where we had to sit on the border, and we went across as part of 16 Air Assault. So it was part of a regiment that was in the vanguard, if you like, so they were second across the border behind the Americans. The Americans always went first because they wanted to get to Baghdad as quickly as possible. But our role was quite different, was to come up behind and look after, really, and impose peace as best we could upon the area that we found ourselves in. So how I felt afraid. It's not pleasant leaving your family and friends. I left my family 5 times. I said goodbye to them 5 times because transport out was a bit difficult. So I felt slightly afraid of where I was going, what was going to happen, if we were in proper combat, if we were up against an army that was going to come back to us. The projections were that the regiment I was with probably wouldn't last more than 3 days. So that's quite a thing that you take on board with you. My role was to go as their parish priest. I was to be their pastor, their minister, their vicar, out there in the sand. So I wasn't there to further the aims of war. I was there to minister to my parish, who just happened to be a bunch of young boys and girls who had been asked by Her Majesty's government to go and do this task. So interesting times. We weren't out there very long, thankfully, but you have to remember the political state that was taking place at the time. So there was concerns for weapons of mass destruction. We know that now was not the case. But actually, when you sat on the border looking to go forward, you don't know that. So you have to deal with that. It was interesting that the young boys and girls who were with us, some were afraid, some questioned what they were doing, but they also understood that it was good to have someone like myself there with them, to say prayers with them, to minister to them, as and when they needed it. But also one of the other functions I did while I was out there was to bury the dead. And I buried Iraqi soldiers, 8 or 9 that we found in our area, and gave them the proper send-off that they deserved, so that actually my soldiers could see that we treat people fairly and well, that there is a humanity even within war.